Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Lunar Rose Tarot and Astrology. Tonight, I am going to be going over all of the September 2025 astrology transits. I will be reading for the collective, and I will offer some free and paid mini tarot and astrology readings at the end. Guys, please remember we are multi streaming, so we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. Welcome, everyone. I do have a lot of information to go over with you. So I always say make sure to grab a water, stay hydrated, get comfortable, maybe grab a snack, make sure to grab your calendars. And tonight you're going to want to grab your birth charts as well. All right, let me get my notes pulled up really quickly here before I get started. Vanessa joining us. Welcome, Vanessa. All right, guys, it's eclipse season. So you're going to hear me talking about the eclipses a lot tonight. I feel like there's a few words you're probably going to hear me say often. The eclipse energy, the shadow energy. We're going to talk about that before we get into the transits. Like, what is an eclipse? Just so we can all be on the same page before we get started with the transits. Um, I'm having a little bit of problem with Twitch, but I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. Just go ahead and get started. Diana on YouTube, welcome. All right, so everything seems to be working okay except Twitch. I'm not sure what the issue is, but let's go ahead and get started. Guys, get comfortable. I do have a lot of information to give you, but again, let's start with the eclipses because that is something you're going to hear often and it's impacting the entire month of September. So, first, let's just talk about what it is, right? Sandra joining us. Welcome, Sandra. Okay, so think of eclipses as like a cosmic checkpoint. These are powerful moments when the sun, which is our conscious self, and the moon, which is our emotional self, are aligned with the nodes, our lunar nodes, which is like destiny's path or fate. It's creating a celestial doorway, so to speak. And the energy doesn't just add new things, it actually reveals what's been hidden. And then that will help you accelerate whatever your fate or destiny is. All right, so there's two types of eclipses. There's solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse is the energy that you experience with a new moon. This is all about new beginnings. It plants a seed in an area of your life, but you might not see the full results for about 6 months. That's another thing that eclipse are known for, right? Lunar eclipse is the full moon, and it's going to be a culmination or release, and it brings things to light, or maybe even to an end, closing a chapter that could have started 6 months prior, right? So that's eclipse energy. So how does the eclipse energy help us collectively, the not PLR collective, but Twin Flame collective? I shouldn't even say that anymore either. I am such not a fan of the labels. Divine masculine, divine feminine. Let's say it that way. How does it help us integrate our shadow energy? Well, first, our shadow energy is a part of us that we repress. We deny it or hide it. It's often out of fear, shame, or we're told to, right? Conditioning. And eclipses act like a spiritual spotlight. So it suddenly illuminates these hidden corners of our psyche. So for the collective, this particular eclipse season is going to help us create some powerful opportunity in a couple different areas. First, it's going to help us see the unseen, right? Because that's what eclipses do. They reveal hidden patterns, fears, and unconscious behaviors, or the shadow, right? That have been secretly running our lives or even society. They also help us release with compassion. The intense energy that comes with eclipses forces a purge. So it's not always a gentle purge, but it gives us a collective moment to acknowledge and release what we've been carrying. And that could be old grief, outdated structures, or even generational trauma. Eclipses also help us embrace wholeness. So by bringing the shadow into light, we can finally integrate it, right? I always say, like, one of the first steps is just acknowledging. We stop fighting these hidden parts and instead understand their power. And this is how we become more authentic, more compassionate, and more whole, both as our individual selves and as a collective. So eclipses don't really create the shadow, as they say. They kind of expose it, right? And they give us a chance to finally heal it all together. So if something big comes up for you or unexpected during this eclipse season, don't just be scared of it, but ask yourself, like, what is the hidden truth that it's trying to show you? All right, I hope everybody's got their calendars out. We're going to go through the transits. It definitely is almost every single day. I remember when we first started doing the astrology transits, I feel like it was, I don't know, maybe a handful, 10 to 15 transits a month that we talked about. And that was it, right? Like that was the big things that were happening. And it's like as we've, went through the months, as we've gotten closer to now, it just seems like it just keeps building and there's more transits each month, right? I stopped doing the hot dates, not altogether, but it almost feels like we're coming to some type of union, and I don't really know. Remember, guys, I'm having this awakening myself, so it's like it's happening to me. But so it's like we're coming to some form of union, whether that's inner union, outer union, whichever. But it definitely feels like it's coming to like a point, right? Like it's boiling up to something. And as that's been happening, it's like the astrology transits kind of say that it kind of points to the idea that it's like every transit is a hot date, just keeps boiling, pointing towards that direction, right? And September is no different, right? August was loaded down. September is exactly the same way. I am going to go through each individual one. I'm really starting to fine tune the masculine and feminine energies when we talk about the different astrology transits because I feel like it just makes it easier for us to understand the energy that comes with that transit, right? Like when I say that Mars is moving into Scorpio, people are like, what does that mean, Rosa? So I feel like when we break it down into the masculine and feminine energies, it really just kind of helps us understand what Mars and Scorpio means, which is going to happen this month. We're going to talk about it. But I broke it down as simple as possible, and I made them kind of short. So if anybody has any questions on any specific date, just message me, send me an email. I will gladly go more in depth into that particular transit. But because there's so many of them, and we're only here for a short period of time, right? I just thought it would be best to make it as short and brief as possible. I am going to go through each one, including the moon phases, the lunar phases, because those are definitely going to be super important as we're in this eclipse season in the month of September, right? Hot dates. I did pick out, I would say, a handful because I wanted to go back to like how we used to do it. But I picked out the, I guess, most potent hot dates out of the month. But again, just like August, I would almost say that every single transit is pointing to some form of you. All right, let's get started. Okay, right out the gate on September 1st, we have Saturn, which is retrograde. It's been in Aries and it's going to move back into Pisces. So in Aries, this energy was kicking my butt. Let's just be honest about it, right? I feel like I kept saying that, like I was really excited for the discipline and I really needed help with the self-discipline, and it is helping. Saturn in Aries is definitely helping me in all my Aries energy. Where is Aries for you guys? Like that's what Saturn is helping you with. And then Saturn is all like, father time, karma, discipline, structure, that type of energy. So the fact that it's moving back into Pisces, I feel like most people that have strong Aries placements like me are probably a little relieved with that energy. But what I'm going to say is look at your Pisces house as well on your chart, because whatever, Saturn was in Pisces, right, before it moved into Aries. So it's like now as it's moving retrograde back into Pisces, You're going to get some type of opportunity to close out whatever Saturn already had you working on in your house of Pisces, right? So for me, um, Pisces is going to be my ninth house, right? So it's kind of how I study, higher learning, um, my, meditation, spiritual communication, that type of thing. So look on your charts and see how Saturn going back into Pisces could impact you. For the feminine, this is heavy. I feel like a lot of us have been feeling this heaviness energy. It's very tender feeling. It's going to help us release old dreams and heal emotional wounds. It's definitely like a deep sigh type of energy. For the masculine, this is an urge to get serious about things like spiritual routine or even mental health and making a plan for peace. I think right now you're going to start to see a lot of um, rising divine masculines or healing divine masculines, right? Um, Choose a spiritual path instead of kind of like returning back to their old ways or like what their comfort zone, what they're used to, right? Together, this energy of Saturn moving back into Pisces on September 1st is going to be a collective push to clean up our inner clutter before we go into building anything new. All right, so also on September 1st, we have the moon entering Capricorn. I feel like this is going to help the divine feminine feel more solid with her emotions and the divine masculine be more focused on goals and reputation. It's definitely a get down to business energy being in Capricorn. All right, now moving on September 2nd, we have Mercury entering Virgo. So for the feminine, your intuition is sharp and practical, and you can feel the most efficient way to do something. For the masculine, your mind is focused on facts, details, and problem solving. It's easier to organize and critique. And together, a great energy for planning and perfecting. Talk things through to find the best, most logical solution. Mercury entering Virgo. Excuse me. All right, and then on September 3rd, we have Mercury in Virgo, but it's going to be square Uranus and Gemini. Right now, Uranus and Gemini is, what's a nice way of saying this without getting like in trouble on all these platforms? Uranus and Gemini right now is very much what's giving us the biggest headaches in life. Especially for those of us that are dealing with financial issues. I say especially for those of everybody on the planet. Guys. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in astrology, don't believe in astrology. I mean, I guess you can live in your own Lulu Lala world, but it's just like the moon. You know how the moon impacts it, it pulls on the ocean water, the tides, it does all the things, right? So all these planets, spin out there and they all impact us again, whether we understand it, know it, can find the right words to describe it or not. So it's like everybody on the planet right now is being impacted with finances and it's definitely the Uranus and Gemini energy. So we had Uranus and Taurus move from Taurus to Gemini. We have this retrograde energy coming. I'm telling you, Uranus right now it's the planet of upheaval, right? So it's like right now, the things that Uranus is impacting and touching, it's like it has to be blown up, destructed, torn down. It has to be so it can be built again, anew, better, right? So right now, Uranus and Gemini is not. I don't know. It's just not. It's not a fun energy to say the least. And now we have Mercury and Virgo squaring this energy. So for the feminine, this is sudden intuitive hits. Um, that it's where your routine kind of needs a shakeup. And I feel like that's where you're going to see it the most. It could be anxious energy to make a change as well. For the masculine, this is frustration with old systems. Your mind is buzzing with rebellious, genius ideas that want to break all the rules. Together, it's a disruptive but brilliant energy. So you can expect unexpected news, tech glitches, or breakthrough ideas that require some type of flexibility. All right, on September 4th, we have Mars in Libra square Jupiter in Cancer. I just remembered that I had a video. I'm not even playing the video for you guys. I'm so sorry. Tired of looking at nothing? Okay, sorry. All right, September 4th, we have Mars in Libra, square Jupiter in Cancer. So this is feminine energy. You're going to feel an urge to protect your home or family. Could feel huge and can lead to overreacting emotionally. Masculine frustration in trying to keep the peace while also fighting for what you want. Actions could feel delayed by others. And together, Mars and Libra square Jupiter and Cancer is a push-pull between aggressive action, which is Mars, and emotional security, Jupiter. You want to avoid forcing relationship issues or blowing small conflicts out of proportion. Also, on September 4th, we do have the moon moving into Aquarius. And then on September 5th, the moon in Aquarius is going to be trine Mars in Libra. So for the feminine, your emotions feel cool, clear, and connected to the group. You want to team up for a cause type of energy. For the masculine, your actions are fueled by a desire for fairness and harmony. It's easy to fight for what's right with this energy. Together, a harmonious, cooperative energy, great for group projects or taking peaceful, decisive action with others. All right, September 6th. Anita, welcome. On September 6th, we have Uranus retrograde, and it's the Uranus energy I was just talking about, retrograde, and it begins in Gemini. So for the feminine, this is a sudden need to rethink your role within your community or social circles. Your intuition highlights outdated group beliefs at this time. For the masculine, your innovative ideas need internal review before sharing anything. Um, there could be a pause in communicating um, any type of revolutionary concepts, big ideas. Together, it's a collective mental shift. So, old agreements and ways of communicating are being reworked from the inside out, so speak carefully. Also, on September 6th, you have the moon entering Pisces. Imagination can definitely take over with that energy. On September 7th, we have the moon in Pisces trine Jupiter in Cancer. This is a good one. All right, so moon in Pisces trine Jupiter in Cancer. For the feminine, it is. It is next week. I know. For the feminine, a wave of deep, nourishing empathy and spiritual connection. Your intuition is strong and comforting. For the masculine, moon in Pisces, trine Jupiter in Cancer, protective, expansive urge to provide emotional security and care for your tribe or family. Together, this is a warm, supportive, and deeply compassionate energy, perfect for healing, bonding, and feeling optimistic through any heartfelt connection. Of course, also on September 7th, we also have the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. So for the feminine, this is a powerful release of deep emotions, again, old dreams or spiritual baggage. It's a profound ending that makes space for new intuition. For the masculine, this is letting go of the need to control outcomes and surrendering to faith and trusting the unseen flow of life. Together, the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is a major collective release. Something ends compassionately to make way for new spiritual beginning. Feel it and then heal it. All right, September 8th, we have the moon in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces. For the feminine, this is the weight of solitude or responsibility. It's a very serious, quiet mood for processing deep emotions. For the masculine, this is a call to structure your compassion. This is turning spiritual insight into disciplined practice. And together, it's a sober, grounding energy after the eclipse, facing emotional reality with maturity and quiet strength. On September 9th, we have the moon in Aries, trine Venus and Leo. So for the feminine, this is bold, fiery emotion, feeling confident, playful, and passionate. For the masculine, this is taking direct, heartfelt action in love, creativity, or fun. And together, this is a warm, energetic spark, great for expressing affection, taking creative risks, and enjoying a moment together. Next, we have September 10th. We have the moon in Taurus, square Pluto in Aquarius. For the feminine, this is feeling stubborn or defensive about your values or security. This is hidden fears about change. Um, for the masculine, this is power struggles around money, values, or control. This could be pushing too hard for transformation and causing resistance. Together, Moon in Taurus, square Pluto in Aquarius, could cause tension between holding on to comfort, which is the Taurus energy, and embracing radical change, which is the Aquarius energy. So avoid forcing control and be more softer instead. All right, moving on September 11th, we have the moon in Taurus trine Mercury and Virgo. So for the feminine, this is feeling calm and grounded. Your intuition aligns with practical thinking. You know what feels right and makes sense. For the masculine, this is clear, thoughtful communication. You can express ideas in ways that feel stable and useful. And together, Moon and Taurus, trine Mercury and Virgo, make a smooth, productive space for conversation. It's a good day for planning, problem solving, or making decisions that feel both logical and comforting. September 12th, we have the Sun in Virgo, sextile Jupiter in Cancer. For the feminine, this is feeling gently supported in your daily routines. Your intuition could guide you towards small, meaningful acts of care that would make a big difference. For the masculine, this is practical efforts to protect or provide, feeling rewarding and expanding your sense of security. It's definitely a good day to plan or organize. And together, grow through attention to detail and tenderness. Little efforts will lead to big feelings of stability and optimism. Also on September 12th, we have Mercury in Virgo, sextile Jupiter in Cancer. So for the feminine, your intuition and thoughts will align. You could feel this very practical, nurturing energy helps you take a next step. Trust your gentle insights. Masculine, your mind is focused on helpful, caring communication. Planning feels optimistic and rooted in protecting what matters. And together, a supportive, practical, and heart centered flow of ideas. This is going to be perfect for sharing advice, making plans, or having comforting conversations. I hope everyone's noticing all of the communication as we're moving into the middle of September. All right, so September 13th, we have the Sun in Virgo, conjunct Mercury in Virgo. So for the feminine, your intuition is sharp, practical, and detail oriented. You feel what needs to be organized or improved. For the masculine, your mind is clear, focused, and logical. It's easy to communicate ideas with precision and purpose. And together, it's a powerful alignment of heart and mind, perfect for making decisions, analyzing situations, or expressing yourself with clarity and confidence. On September 14th, we have the moon in Gemini, trine Mars in Libra. So for the feminine, this is feeling curious, social, mentally energized. Your emotions inspire quick, harmonious connections. For the masculine, this is taking action through conversation, negotiation, and graceful diplomacy. This is balanced, thoughtful moves. And together, Moon in Gemini, trine Mars in Libra, this is cooperative energy. It's going to be great for teamwork, social plans, or turning ideas into peaceful action. Also on the 14th, we have the moon entering Cancer. On September 15th, we have Venus in Leo, sextile Mars in Libra. So for the feminine, this is feeling bold, playful, and creativity could definitely be inspired. Your heart wants to express love and beauty with confidence. For the masculine, this is taking graceful action in relationships or even creative projects, balancing passion with harmony. Together, it's a smooth magnetic smart spark between love and action. This is going to be perfect for romance, collaboration, or creating something beautiful together. On September 16th, we have the moon in Cancer, sextile Sun in Virgo. So for the feminine, this is gentle, nurturing emotions aligned with practical thinking. You feel caring and organized with this energy. For the masculine, this is taking thoughtful action to provide security or even improving your daily routines. It's heart and mind working together. Together, divine feminine and masculine, a soft, supportive energy, perfect for tending to home, family, or health with love and attention to detail. Virgo energy. All right, September 17th. We have Mercury in Virgo, and it's going to be opposite Saturn in Pisces. So, for the feminine, your intuition feels blocked by overthinking or criticism with this energy. A quiet reflection will help clarity return. For the masculine, mental pressure to be perfect or practical clashes with spiritual doubt. Focus on the facts, not what you fear. And together, it's going to be a reality check. Serious conversations or decisions may feel heavy, but honesty will lead to long term clarity. That's going to be September 17th. Mercury in Virgo, opposite Saturn in Pisces. Also on the 17th, we have the moon moving into Leo. And then on September 18th, we have Mercury entering Libra. So for the feminine, your intuition seeks harmony and beauty. You feel drawn to peaceful, balanced conversations. For the masculine, your mind focuses on fairness, partnership, and finding solutions. Together, it's going to be a shift toward cooperative communication. This is ideal for discussing relationships, seeking compromise, and creating balance together. September 19th, we have Venus entering Virgo. So this is a big one. For the feminine, love and beauty are expressed through practical care, attention to detail, and acts of service. For the masculine, affection is shown by helping, organizing, or improving things for those that you care about. And together, it's a shift toward grounded, humble expressions of love. Focus on small, meaningful gestures rather than grand displays. Also on the 19th, we have Mercury in Libra, trine Uranus in Gemini. So for the feminine, this is sudden intuitive insights about relationships or fairness. Ideas for harmony may arrive, kind of like an aha moment. For the masculine, this is innovative diplomatic communication, breaking old patterns in conversations with clever, balanced solutions. And together, this is brilliant cooperative ideas flowing easily, perfect for brainstorming, respectful debates, or solving conflicts with unexpected, fair strategies. On September 19th, we have Mercury in Libra trine Pluto in Aquarius. So for the feminine, this is intuitive depth in conversations. Your sense, you sense hidden truths and unspoken power dynamics. For the masculine, this is communicating with transformative clarity, strategic words that cut to the core. And together, this is powerful, honest dialogue that reshapes agreements. September 19th, Mercury in Libra, trine Pluto in Aquarius. Lastly, on September 19th, we have the moon moving into Virgo. And then on September 20th, we have Venus in Virgo square Uranus in Gemini. So for the feminine, this is sudden irritation with routines or even criticism. It's a need for freedom in how you give and receive love. For the masculine, this is unexpected clashes between practicality and spontaneity, disruption in plans or acts of service. And together, this could be tension between stability and change. So avoid nitpicking, embrace small, liberating adjustments in relationships or self care. And here it is, September 21st. Guys, I'm going to go over a short, hot dates list after we get to the last transit for September. Because again, I don't want to be like, oh, it's all of them, right? All right, so September 21st, we have the sun in Virgo. It's going to be opposite Saturn in Pisces. So this for the feminine is feeling the weight of unrealized dreams or emotional limits. It's definitely going to be a call to rest and not resist. For the masculine, this is frustration when practical efforts feel blocked by doubt. Patience and structure are going to be needed. And together, it's going to be, again, a reality check of balancing doing, which is Virgo energy, with releasing, which is Pisces energy. You want to respect your limits and soften your pace. Of course, also on the 21st, we also have the solar eclipse in Virgo. This energy is a powerful moment to heal perfectionism, embrace gentle, practical self care, surrender old criticism. September 22nd, we have the sun entering Libra. This is a shift towards seeking harmony, beauty, and connection. Your intuition now guides you towards balance in relationships for the feminine. For the masculine, this energy focuses on partnership, fairness, and diplomacy. Action is now guided by collaboration and grace. Together, it's a collective turn towards cooperation. September 22nd, the day after the Virgo eclipse. Also on the 22nd, we have Mars entering Scorpio. I should have pointed out that that's the second Virgo new moon. Remember, we had the one at 0 degrees. The one we just spoke on is the second 29-degree Virgo moon. Again, very powerful. But again, on the 22nd, we also have Mars entering Scorpio, which I spoke on at the beginning of the live. For the feminine, this is deep, passionate emotions will fuel your actions. You feel drawn to transform what no longer serves you. For the masculine, this is again intense, focused energy to pursue goals with determination. You're really ready to uncover truths and dig deeper. And together, it's a powerful shift towards transformative action. So channel this energy into shared goals, intimacy, and rebuilding from the core. This is passion meets purpose. September 22nd, Mars entering Scorpio. All right, on September 23rd, we have the Sun in Libra opposite Neptune in Aries. So the feminine feeling unclear in relationships or boundaries, dreams clashing with reality, gentle discernment is going to be needed September 23rd. For the masculine, energy feels scattered or diluted by others' needs, so confusion about direction. You want to pause before acting. Together, it's very hazy, soft energy. Avoid assumptions, seek clarity with compassion. Also on the 23rd, we have the Sun in Libra, trine again Uranus in Gemini. For the feminine, this is sudden intuitive clarity about relationships or fairness. It's inspired ideas for harmony. The masculine, this is innovative, diplomatic action, breaking old patterns with balanced, forward thinking solutions. Together, this is a harmonious spark for change, perfect for collaboration, breakthroughs, respectful surprises, and refreshing connections with ease. On September 24th, we have the Sun in Libra, trine Pluto in Aquarius. So for the feminine, this is intuitive clarity about power dynamics and relationships. You sense deeper truths and feel empowered to transform them gently. For the masculine, this is diplomatic yet transformative action, using strategic grace to reshape structures and create a fair, radical change. Together, this is powerful collaboration for evolution. Truth emerges gracefully, rebuilding trust and alliances with profound depth. September 24th, Sun in Libra, trine Pluto in Aquarius. All right. Also on the 24th, we have Mars in Scorpio, square Pluto in Aquarius. Feminine energy, this is intense emotional power surge. Masculine, this is forceful urges to control or dominate situations. Together, it's high stake tensions. Channel this energy into breaking toxic patterns, not people. Transform, don't destroy. September 24th. Lastly, on the 24th, the moon entering Scorpio. Do what you need to do in order to manage through the intense energies of the past few days. Self care, self care, self care. All right, moving towards the end of the month, we have September 26th. The moon is going to be entering Sagittarius. Everybody still with me? So quiet. I know it's a lot of transits. I hope you guys are circling your calendars. So when it happens, you can't be like, oh, Rosa, you didn't say. All right, almost done. Last thing, September 26th, the moon in Sagittarius is going to be sextile Pluto in Aquarius. The feminine energy, your intuition feels expansive and truth seeking. Masculine, this is passionate, visionary action feels aligned. Together, it's perfect for sharing big ideas and embracing freedom. September 27th, we have the moon in Sagittarius, sextile the sun in Libra. For the feminine, this is feeling optimistic, free, aligned with your truth. For the masculine, this energy is balanced, fair, and inspired by big ideas. And together, it's perfect for exploring new perspectives or sharing beliefs. On September 28th, we have the moon in Sagittarius, sextile Mercury in Libra. So for the feminine, your intuition feels adventurous and optimistic. For the masculine, your mind is open, fair, and eager. Together, it's easy, uplifting conversation, perfect for sharing ideas, learning together, planning adventures. September 29th, we're almost there. First quarter moon in Capricorn. So for the feminine, this is your emotions feel focused and determined. You're really ready to commit to practical goals with quiet strength. For the masculine, energy is disciplined and ambitious. It's taking action towards long term plans. And together, it's a push to build stability. All right, last one. We made it, guys. September 30th, we have the moon in Capricorn trying Venus in Virgo. For the feminine, this is feeling grounded and cared for through practical action. Your heart finds comfort in things that are simple and reliable. For the masculine, it's expressing love through helpful, disciplined action, showing affection by improving routines or offering support. And together, it's stable, nurturing energy. It's perfect for building trust through small, meaningful efforts and honoring commitments with quiet devotion. Did you guys sense the union throughout the entire month? All right, so September 2025 is going to begin with deep emotional cleanse. That's the Pisces Eclipse. And it's going to end with grounded practical love, which is Capricorn-Virgo harmony. In between, our minds will expand. It's going to be Jupiter and Gemini. Relationships will recalibrate. That's Mercury and Libra. And passions will intensify. That's Mars and Scorpio. So it's a month to release the old, communicate with care, and build trust through small, meaningful action. All right, guys, here's your hot dates. After all of that, are you ready? The hottest of the hot, right? Because I don't know. I feel like I feel like the whole month points towards union, right? And we can just, let's just call it internal union, right? Like we're just, I don't know, we're just done fighting with ourselves and we're ready to find that internal balance, right? Okay, so circle your calendar. September 7th, that's the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. It's going to be a powerful moment of emotional and spiritual release. September 14th, that's when Jupiter enters Gemini. It's a major shift for expanding collective thinking and communication. The 21st, it's the new moon eclipse in Virgo. It's a potent new beginning for routines, health, and service. Remember, 29 degrees. On the 22nd, Mercury in Libra, Mars entering Scorpio. Let's see what else. Venus square Uranus. And that's it. That's what I've got for hot dates. All right, guys, I know that is so much information. I hope it was helpful. All right, I'm going to grab a drink and I'm going to read for the collective. I'm going to keep it simple tonight, guys, because, astrology is enough, right? And then we do have September's Twin Flame Current Energy is this Saturday. I've already posted it. So I feel like I just want to keep it as simple as possible. And we'll take a deep dive when we do the monthly reading Saturday night. All right, let me know, ladies. Sound is still okay. I took the mic off, so I'm not attached to the cord. Everybody's so quiet. Why is everybody so quiet? Is it the astrology? I feel like it's not as bad as August. Like August was much more fierce. September feels, the eclipse energy feels like some type of I don't know, surrender. I don't want to say like we're giving up, but it's definitely this energy like things got hard, and I don't know, it's like things got hard our way, right? So it's like when we realize that, I don't know, it's easier spirit's way, we stop fighting, it's not as tense. All right, let's dive in. Let's look at the masculine energy first. Ooh, so masculine energy, Two of Pentacles comes out. Feeling pulled in too many directions, feeling like they don't have enough of something, not sure how to get their footing. I'm seeing like there's this little mouse on the pier with a rope, so it's like afraid of tripping over something. All right, let's look at the feminine energy. For the masculine, it's the earth sign, so it's going to be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. For the feminine, we have the fire signs, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Six of Wands is notoriety. I feel like for the feminine, you could feel like people are drawn to you at this time. It is a victory card, but I'm not really sensing like you see it as a victory. It's almost like you're not necessarily, um, for me, I'm not sure if I'm like excited about all the extra attention. I feel like you could feel like people are coming up and asking you certain questions about things like spiritual awakening, your divinity, your beliefs, that type of thing. And I feel like, as normally, that's something that I really enjoy talking about. I don't know. It's like here lately, it's almost like I don't want to keep it to myself, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's like all of a sudden, people that you wouldn't think drawn to you, um, coming to ask you specific questions about things that maybe you want to keep private or you're not ready to share. I think that's what it is this feeling of not really ready to share. All right, let's look at the bridging energy. The interesting part, I feel like, through September transits is Mercury, which definitely impacts our communication, but it's not retrograde. It's almost like this energy is a little tougher than the last retrograde we just experienced. All right, so we have Five of Cups coming out. So the energy is definitely heavy. This is our current bridging energy. It's a feeling of loss, sorrow. It could be something from the past, like pulling at you. It could even, with that Virgo energy, be like stuck in a moment or stuck in a thought or having like a repeated thought. Cups are water. It's definitely very emotional. It feels heavy. It does feel that way for the feminine, right? Like there's some things we're just not quite ready to talk about, but it's like people are asking us about it. And it's like, I don't know. It's almost like we feel like we have to be honest and we need to, I don't know, help or share. But as before, where we didn't mind, it's like now we kind of want to keep it to ourselves. I think it's just because we're not, it's this feeling, it's that feeling, remember I talked about it already. Remember the first Virgo new moon with 0 degrees, that feeling of we're not ready, right? Like we're not ready for something. All right, let's do a quick head, heart, and higher self. Because I don't know if you saw it on our video, but I am offering free messages from your person tonight. If you guys are interested in that, make sure to hang out after the collective. No lists tonight, guys. I'm just going to pick, let Spirit tell me which ones. Also offering a 1-card general eclipse guidance reading. All right, limitations and fears coming out in the headspace for the masculine. What's sticking out to me is the ghost hand. So it's like something from the past. In the heart space, we have deception and temptation. We have strength and empowerment coming out for higher self. So I think that's pretty easy. It's pretty clear. Masculine energy could feel tempted to do something repetitive, or could be tempted from something of their past. But it's definitely like a lesson, right? Higher self lesson is strength and empowerment. It's the sun card. So it's this energy of, it's like the sun is putting this giant spotlight on this thing that's been keeping the masculine energy limited or behind or unable to move forward. And they definitely could be tempted to like reach out or go back to something. But I feel like their higher self is currently showing them that they're strong enough to move through it or move past it. All right, let's look at the feminine energy. So we have freedom, leap, and opportunities. We have guilt and sabotage. We have reunion and soul ties. We have family, home, and commitment on the bottom. Uranus. I didn't even see it when I first looked. In the headspace, the divine feminine could be experiencing. It's really interesting because it's almost like the divine feminine has surrendered to the journey, not necessarily going kicking and screaming anymore. That's most likely why it's like you're illuminating this huge light. That's why you're kind of like drawing people or magnetizing to like people to come and ask you like spiritual questions, or um, to just want to be in your energetic field. But to the feminine, because this energy of surrender and alignment, excuse me, feel so new. I don't know. It's almost like the feminine energy is scared of it. Uranus energy is upheaval. Uranus energy is sometimes fearful, surprising, shocking. In the heart space, the guilt and sabotage, I've been feeling this for the feminine energy for a moment. It's almost like the feminine energy feels guilty when it comes to moving on, or when it comes to experiencing happiness. So it's like what happens normally is this energy of repeated behaviors or repeated cycles. The self-sabotage comes into play. The higher self lesson is reunion and soul ties, which is really interesting because when I was looking at the astrology for September, that was one of the first things I noticed, is that there's this massive energy of union. Remember, this whole point of this awakening is supposed to be about our inner union, our balancing, like individually balancing our own masculine and feminine energies out within, right? Not like us and another person. As we go through the month of September, that's what it feels like we've come to some type of union within. But the energy is so Uranus, it's so profound, it's specific, detailed, on point, that it feels like union. How's it go? As within, so without. And the higher self message lesson feels very external. I mean, is it possible that, like, as we go through this journey and we surrender more and more, and we become more aligned with our soul's path and more balanced within our own inner masculine and feminine energies, is it possible that at that point we align with some soul tie, soulmate, twin flame, whichever? I keep saying I don't know because I haven't got there yet. All right, let's do some messages. And I have the soulmate love message cards and the OG cards. I'm going to use the OG cards for the collective. We got to agree to disagree. I think what we're disagreeing on is the union. And not that it's happening, but what the meaning of it is. Everything is going to be okay is one of my personal favorites. There were times when I was going through Dark Night of the Soul. And if you went through Dark Night of the Soul, you know, but there were times where it was so dark that I couldn't see any light whatsoever. And whenever I would get this message, whether it was a text or something that was said, it brought so much light with it, like every single time. And it gave me such hope, even if it was for such a short period of time, even if it was brief, it still gave me such hope. It's nice to hear or talk to a friend comes out. Some of you could be having communication after long periods of no contact. Sometimes it's hard for me not to be angry about this. This is divine feminine energy. This is what divine feminine energy is releasing with this particular eclipse season. Your courage inspires me. I think I made a mistake. This is going to speak on the self-doubt. This is also what divine feminine is moving out of. Only those who care about you can hear you when you're quiet is on the bottom. That's going to be a higher self message. Let's do a tree of life. For guidance, and we'll close it out. The woman card flies out. The tree stump card is going to be on the bottom. The woman card says feminine attributes: receptive, creative, maternal, independent, interpersonal, virtuous, intuitive, and compassionate. The feminine aspect is in everyone. The choosing tree of life woman card opens you up to being receptive to some ideas you previously would not have considered. This is that whole, we all have masculine and feminine energies, right? This can allow you to absorb and embrace new information and generate good things. You may wish to champion a cause or succeed through compassionate approaches. Creating and envisioning is essential when you choose Tree of Life Woman card. Often systems and structures fail because of the lack of vision and creative solutions. Now is the time for you to share your visions and demonstrate how receptive and your nurturing qualities can change the world. You are your most persuasive in all the right ways right now. I do feel like it's going to be a month of divine feminine experiencing opportunities where she can show compassion. All right, I'm going to look up the tree stump card, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Pride in old ways. Wisdom, experience, and ancient knowing. It says facing the inevitable. Tree of Life tree stump card signals a time to rest inside, thinking of the past as we move into the future. Sometimes we throw out the old and welcome the new, but there's a lot of wisdom in the ancient ways. Even as we renew our lives, we can still respect and benefit from lessons learned long ago. Take in the deep wisdom of your elders and trust that some things never really change. The old ways serve as that they're structured and rituals that have been meaningful for hundreds of years, values and virtues that did not go out of style with the changes in season. You may create new rituals and philosophies to live by, but understanding the ways of the old can benefit you because even as you evolve, the past is part of your story. How interesting, right? I definitely feel the eclipse energy. I feel like it's going to be a super powerful transformation. I do feel like it's going to be some type of um, like purge. It's going to give us a surge towards our destiny or fate. I think a lot of us are going to experience new experiences with the twin journey that could be a little bit out of our comfort zone, like not something that we expected to experience, maybe not something that we've even heard about. Um, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of a sample. Are you ready? Since it's just us in here. um, this week, I had the weirdest experience. Um, I remember I'm back at this place where I work at, that is where I had my spiritual awakening, like where it started, right? Um, there's a particular place in this resort, like where this whole spiritual awakening journey kicked off, started the whole thing, right? And it was that meeting of a person, right? And the way that, all the ways that people talk about it when it comes to this particular label, this type of spiritual awakening, um, it happened again. It happened again. 10 years later, in the very same spot, completely different person. It happened again in almost the very same way. The only thing that I noticed that was different this time around was this time I stopped, I made eye contact, and then I replied like I had something to say, right? But as it was happening, and my ears are ringing so loud right now. But as it was happening, I realized like what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like I realized that I had been in that same place. I had stood in that same spot. I had had this very same experience, 10 years prior. So it was like super, super weird. um, but it also like, I don't know, it was a big aha moment. It gave me a lot of clarity, like in my own personal journey. Um, so yeah, and I feel like that's like the whole point of the eclipse season, is like that's exactly what's going to happen, is it's going to bring all of this, suppressed, buried, deja vu, right, Diana, stuff to the surface, right, in order for us to heal it once and for all. So yeah, that definitely could be something that you experience or something similar. I knew when it was happening that it was like profound. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that it was a big deal. All right, who's doing messages? Did I hear Sandra say she wanted to do some messages? I'm gonna pull from the OG card, Sandra. All right. And Kelsey Richards, let me know. Let me know if you're still here, if you waited patiently. Diana says, talking to heaven. Guys, we'll talk more about the eclipses as they get closer. I try to like touch on them, but not get into too much detail so I don't tell you everything, and then I don't have nothing to say when it's there. All right, Sandra, think about your person for me. What's he look like? What's the hair color? What's the sound of the voice? Ooh, that's a good one. Don't tell anyone, but I'm struggling to get back up this time. That was me. I said that, and it was I was definitely going through. I don't do it anymore. That's why that's why today is such a certain way, right? Like I don't have the energy to fake it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the energy to come out here and be like, "Yay, it's going to be a great month, woohoo!" Ha! You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And that really, like, that's when this all happened. Like, I feel like before, I could be in a really bad place. I could feel really heavy emotionally, um, and I could still, like, you know, keep a certain type of presentation to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I could put on a show. I could come out and say, put on a happy smile and everything's going to be wonderful and we're going to read tarot and yada yada. And it's like ever since this card, um I can't do that anymore. Like if I'm feeling a lot of heavy energy, I'm just going to get on the button, hit the thing and say like, hey, it feels really freaking heavy. Um, but that's what I'm getting. It's not necessarily the struggle. Everybody's struggling. It's literally everybody. Find the person on the planet that has the least amount of problems, and I promise you, they have more problems than they're used to. They're they're having to integrate more parts of their shadow than they've ever had to before. So it's not really about the struggle as it is, I just can't, I don't know, pretend that I'm not struggling. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your person could just be saying, hey, I'm just tired of pretending. I'm tired of pretending like everything is going great and hunky dory, right? Do your thing and I'll do mine. A little resentment, a little bit of thinking that maybe you're doing better than they're doing. Step up or get out of the way is very loud. And a little rude. I wish I knew how you really feel. I think that's what this is about. Step up and get out of the way, or get out of the way. This was actually, see the T down here in the bottom? This was actually said to us. This is not actually me or counterpart. Um, this is like a person that just knew about our experience, and gave this bit of advice. Um, but I think the message coming from your person is they could feel like don't shoot the messenger. But I think they feel like you're pulling at their energy, but you're not really communicating. I heard, I wouldn't say like playing hard to get, because I feel like you're just respecting yourself and you're enforcing boundaries. But this person could feel like you're playing hard to get type of energy. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, Rosa, my bad. There we go. Saying it's like we can't see cards. All right, let's do Vanessa's, and then we'll do your talking to heaven, Diana. Thank you, ladies, for hanging out with me tonight. So freaking quiet. I don't know what happened to Twitch. We got an error. Facebook looked like it was gonna come out okay, and then it didn't. Probably one of those fun nights. Did anybody get notifications? Did you guys get a notification for a live? All right, Vanessa, think of your person. What do they look like? I almost say, what do they smell like? um, but it's just supposed. I was just supposed to say, what do they look like? It helps when you think of the sound of their voice as well. I said, what do they smell like? I hope it's not bad. All right, only one card is coming out. Tell me what to do then. I see the signs everywhere I look. It's the synchronicities. The synchronicities could be freaking them out. But tell me what to do then, what you want me to do then. Was said to me because this grown ass man didn't want to have to be responsible for any of his decisions and choices. So he was like, if you just tell me what to do, then I'll just have to do those things. And then I'm not responsible. I was just doing what I was told, right? That's how it worked out in my world anyway. It's possible that your person feels like they just don't know what to do anymore, or like they've tried to do a lot of different things and maybe you haven't been like open or accepting of whatever it is that they're trying, so they're at this energy like, I just don't know what else to do. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Hope that was helpful. Diana says school is back and parents are fighting over homework. That's so true. So true. um the season is coming to an end too. I'm kind of, I don't know, it's love hate, but I think I'm kind of ready for it, and I'm ready for a new schedule. I have not been a fan. I feel like at first I was, the Tuesday Thursday was kind of nice. It felt very like relaxed, I guess. But what I'm noticing is that, see, PLR is my spirit. Thank you, Vanessa. PLR is my spiritual awakening. It's my journey, right? So when I'm going 5 days without, like, I don't know, doing a live or connecting or If I'm working that whole time, I'm not reading any tarot. I can't go that long. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like spirit. Just I cannot go 5 whole days. It's definitely been rough. Rough to say the least. All right, Diana, here we go. I don't know what happened on Twitch, but I got the big red exclamation mark. All right, it says, remember me by the happy memories that we created. It shows the pictures. It's a woman and a little girl. My mind is free on the bottom. So this is gonna be someone that was like around you as a child. Someone that was very, is this grandma? Like had a part in your raising. All right, remember me by the happy memories we created, and you could have a picture that's nearby. The clothespin is sticking out to me, so you could have a picture that's nearby that's like maybe, I don't know, it's older, or it has something to do with like special clothes, or I don't know, maybe it shows a clothesline. The clothespins are sticking out to me because I just painted some today for our Labor Day activities with the kids. But that's what it's kind of giving me the idea, like crafts, you know what I mean? That type of energy. All right, I can see you remembering me with heaviness in your heart because you worry and grieve. These are normal, beautiful, and understandable emotions, and they're part of your healing. However, when the dust settles, I really wish that you could focus upon the happier times instead of the sad ending. Keep my memory alive by thinking of me. This is going to be the most important part of what I tell you. Keep my memory alive by thinking of me at our most joyful times. When something stirs a pleasant memory, talk to me about this and know that I will hear you and share the sentimental moment with you. Okay, this is a confirmation. You just had a conversation with this person very recently where you shared some, I don't know, my light just dimmed in my room. Could you guys see that? But anyway, you shared some sentimental moment, something, and this is confirmation. This person wants you to know, like, yes, I heard you. I was there. I got the message. Maybe you were looking at their picture when you sent the message, something like that. All right, I hope that was helpful. Look, there's Twitch. Wait, why wasn't it working earlier? Grace Angel, thank you so much. So we have Grace Angel 20 on Twitch, and she says, I'm also a Vanessa. So hearing you say my name was having me like, wait, what? Oh, that's too funny. Diana, did you have a conversation recently with someone? I know I said grandma, but I just remembered that you have like this very like masculine protector provide type of grandmother, and then you have a very um like nurturing dad. So I mean it could be, it was the more nurturing maternal energy actually. She said could be either grandma. Love that. Grace Angel says, did you know that Vanessa is a Greek word for butterfly, and a group of butterflies is called a kaleidoscope. Diana says, I think it was my mom's mom. I love that. That's weird too. I actually had a dream of my mom's mom, not too long ago. I just remembered it because you said mom's mom. But the dream I had wasn't actually about my, she wasn't in it. But she was a big fan of Elvis, and I had a dream of Elvis, and in the dream he was saying like if I wanted to get in this line, then he would sign this thing that I could give to her, and I was trying to tell him that she'd already passed. Vanessa is my moderator over on Facebook. Grace over on Twitch. So she says she has some butterfly tattoos. Look at that. Look at us making friends. I have this butterfly tattoo. Can you see it? That's my butterfly tattoo. Interesting enough, I was looking at Halloween costumes today for my Halloween. We actually do Halloween activities at work for the kids twice. We do it the weekend before and the weekend of. So we have like costume contests, and they have this thing where they can decorate their golf carts, and we pick the best golf cart decorations. They get prizes like first, second, third. We do a parade, you know what I mean, and we do it both weekends. So I was looking at Halloween costumes, and there's this one that I saw that is like it's a butterfly, but it's a cape. And then when you open up the cape, like it has the butterfly wings. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty cool. Diana says, my stepmom was devastated when Elvis passed. My niece is named Presley because of him. I love that. My um my daughter-in-law, Carson's mom, well, I guess Carson, has a dog named Presley. I wonder if that's why she named him Presley. I never even thought of that. It's so weird. We're talking about Elvis. Interestingly enough, it just so happens that I once dated someone that was of some relation. Just pointing that out. I don't know why all of a sudden Elvis. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Don't forget that Thursday, I'm gonna be back. We're gonna read all 12 signs. I will put timestamps in, so if you can't catch me live Thursday, you can always find these videos over on my YouTube channel. Remember, we are multi-streaming, so YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Um, the easiest way to find them is YouTube under the live tab, and I always put the timestamps in the description box. Saturday the 30th, I'm going to be back, and we're going to read for um, that's my holiday weekend too. Saturdays always kick my butt. Have mercy. I know it was wild. But anyway, Saturday the 30th, Twin Flames, September monthly update. So make sure to come back and hang out with me for that. Happy birthday to your sister on Thursday. I have two Virgos. We have one coming in 2 days, and another one 2 days after that. I will definitely need to send some happy birthdays out. Thank you for reminding me, Diana. Yes, watch the replay, check the timestamps, all of that good stuff. Yeah, and I'll see you guys then. If you guys are new, make sure to hit those notification bells to all so that it lets you know when I go live. I love y'all. I'm always, always sending you love on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.